Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Health Talk. I am your host, Dr. Neeru Prasad, with my background in pediatrics, emergency medicine, affiliated with Henry Ford Health System, St. Joe, Oakland, and Beaumont. The theme of our Health Talk today is very interesting, the gift of life. Joining us today as our guest speakers are Dr. Michael Collier. He is the recipient of a heart transplant that was 8 years ago. He is going to talk to us about his experiences. Shalonda Griffin, and she is the community relation coordinator who coordinates everything. And they are going to talk to our viewers and share some information about this very interesting topic that we have today, the gift of life. Thank you very much for coming to my show. Dr. Michael Collier, can you please give your introduction to our viewers?
Okay. My name is Michael Collier, and my heart transplant history goes back to 1998.
Okay.
And I suddenly developed swelling of the ankles and shortness of breath.
We will ask you. So you are a nephrologist,
That's
retired
correct.
nephrologist. Good, and you look so good after all these years.
Thank you.
So now, will you please give your introduction to your role with the?
Of course. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here today.
I like to thank you too.
Of course. My name is Shalonda Griffin, and as you mentioned, I'm one of the community relations coordinators at Gift of Life, Michigan. I work primarily in the Genesee County, Saginaw Bay areas, but my main job is to go out and educate communities about organ and tissue donation. I implement programming. I work with the Secretary of State. I do things like media, just anything to get organ and tissue donation in the minds of people in the community.
So that's very interesting to know. You are the one who coordinates everything. And now I went to the website. I was amazed how much has been written about your sites, at the Michigan. So anyway, now question for Dr. Collier. What were the circumstances leading up to you for this thought of heart transplant?
Well, back in 1998, I developed swelling of the ankles and shortness of breath. And as a physician, I would think I had heart failure, but I did not.
Right.
I subsequently had a chest x-ray, a cardiac echo, and was hospitalized and placed on the heart transplant list, and was being evaluated for a heart transplant at the hospital. I got better on medications with heart medicines, water pills, and that, and I was able to go home. And for multiple years, I was doing okay with adjustments in our medications. Then I was admitted to the hospital because of a cardiac arrest in the emergency room.
And that was sudden.
It was a sudden thing, and then I had a second arrest in the emergency room, and they put in a defibrillator and a pacemaker at that time. I continued to go along for a period of time, and then the doctors recommended I have a heart pump put in.
Okay.
And I did not want to have that done, and said, let's wait a month or so. And then I ended up in the hospital waiting for a heart. And while I was waiting for a heart on medications to keep my heart pumping, I developed kidney failure, my blood pressure dropped, and they told me if I did not have the pump, I would probably die within 2 or 3 days. So I had the pump put in, went home from the hospital, was doing well on the pump, and by this time I was 65 years of age, and I did not think I'd get a heart transplant, and I was doing well with the pump. And then I got a call at 1:30 in the morning saying that there was a donor that could give you a heart. Come on into the hospital, which I did. I got the heart transplant. That was 12 years ago in December, and I've not been back in the hospital since.
Sorry, I said it. So isn't that amazing and a miracle?
Oh, it's amazing, more than what I expected.
You have been doing for 12 years. So now question for you, can you tell me, how long does it take before a somebody is on the transplant list, you are the community person. So how long does it take for you after doing all the researches and everything, who might be the donor?
As far as how long it takes, it really just depends on the organ, for instance.
Okay.
So for instance, with kidneys, there's
Yeah.
a big need for kidneys. That is the most needed and the most transplanted organ.
Okay.
And here in the state of Michigan, there's a 5 to 7 year wait for a
5
deceased
to
kidney,
okay.
a kidney from a deceased donor. So it really just varies.
Okay, so for something, the very most common is being done is the kidney transplant, and for the viewers to know, 5 to 7 years.
Correct.
7 years wait. So in what way, doctor, you think that the gift of life facilitated your heart transplant?
Well, when I was at home before I was called in for a transplant,
Yeah.
there was a 23-year-old boy that was in an accident,
Okay.
suffered irreversible brain damage, and
Oh.
was in the hospital. He did not have that gift of life heart on his driver's license, stating that he
okay.
was a donor. The gift of life came in early in the morning, like 1:30 in the morning, and talked to the family. And the family decided that, well, first they decided they didn't want to donate any organs, or he did not want to donate any organs. Then they thought about what their son would have wanted. And they said, our son Joey, whose heart I have,
Yeah,
said
okay,
that
so 23-year-old heart.
23 years old, would have liked to have participated in donating his
Yeah,
organs after he died.
So, doctor, do they have to carry a license or something in their wallet
They do.
about this? Their will of, is it like a will they want?
Yes, but he did not. But the
Yeah.
gift of life did talk to the family, and then the family
Yeah, right,
signed a
yeah.
thing for them. And
So, what do you have to say?
So just to expound on what you were saying, generally when people make the decision to join the Michigan Organ Donor Registry, they will have that red heart on their driver's license or their state
Okay.
ID that signifies that they are a donor. When they pass away, then we will check our records to see if that person is a registered donor and go from there. But if they aren't, which the case of
Like
your donor,
family helps.
right, one of our representatives will come out and speak to the family and see if they're willing to give authorization if that's something they think that their loved one would have wanted to do.
Okay.
But ideally, people make that decision beforehand, but
Beforehand,
just
right.
because you have it does not necessarily mean you can't donate.
So, there's something that it will be stuck to their driver's license.
Right.
I want to be a donor, right? I want to be a donor.
correct.
Yes, it'll say donor and have a red heart, and it serves as a reminder to you that you're registered.
Okay, that's interesting to know, doctor. So, what was it like to become a heart transplant recipient? And as a physician, did your experience had any perception?
it did. When you're on the other side of the fence,
Right, doctor.
it's different. And I'd never even conceived of having a heart transplant. And then, as a patient, I was experiencing medicine from a different perspective.
Okay.
And it's not the perspective that I'd had prior to being a patient. As a physician, I thought of patients as diseases and plumbing that needed to be corrected, organs that needed to be taken out, diseases corrected. But as a patient, I felt differently. There's that experiential knowledge of undergoing something
Going
that
through.
you have never experienced in your life before, and it was totally different.
Yeah, and it is, like you are a physician, you know the outcome, you know how it works and all your different system in your, so for you, it must have been a lot to think about.
Oh, absolutely.
It must be a lot to think about, perspectives, yeah, okay. So then, have you had any involvement since you were transplanted?
Well, let me say, after I was transplanted,
Yeah,
there's things that I have been able to do that I could not do before I was
okay,
transplanted.
okay.
When I was, 6 weeks after I had my heart transplant,
Yeah.
I was snowshoeing, And my wife took a picture of me, and we sent it to our cardiologist and to the heart transplant doctor. I had never snowshoed in
And you
15 years, and I was able
That
to
was
do
great.
this.
It's
And
wonderful.
I started cutting wood, going on long hikes. Just 2 months ago, I walked 11.2 miles
Oh,
because I
is
got
that
lost
so?
in the
Isn't
woods.
that amazing? You
And
did
just absolutely been a total change in life
Exercise.
with,
Yeah.
with the transplant.
So the most important thing is, doctor, that you kept yourself very active.
Yes,
Yeah, and that has a lot to do, right?
it did. And there were experiences too. I mean, my daughter got married. 1 year later, I was able to walk her down the aisle after the transplant. She's had 3 children since. My son and his wife, they have 4 children, boys. I've been able to watch them grow up. The oldest
Watch
one is
them grow. Such a
graduating
pleasure of life.
from high school, and it's been a true gift of life that I've been given, a second gift of life. The first being my parents allowed me to come into this world.
Yeah, that is good. So what do you have to add about this Michigan, the Michigan heart transplant unit and the
With transplant in general, I think it is
Transplant.
amazing. It really does give people a second chance at life. I've met people who have been pretty much on death's door, unfortunately, but then they receive that transplant and their life just turns completely
Life
around, and they get to experience all those wonderful things, like you said, being able to walk your daughter down the aisle, being able to see your grandchildren grow. Those are wonderful, wonderful gifts that they may not have been able to experience if they did not receive that transplant. So I think that it's very important for people to think about donation. I think just like we had the conversation of go visit your doctor once a year or go to the dentist twice a year, we need to start talking to our families about donation. What do you want to do when you are no longer here? Those gifts can really mean the world to someone else.
So I was reading through the literatures and everything, and I found out there is no age limit for this, right? Is that true?
This is correct, yes, yes.
So these are the questions I found out, about there is no age limit. And also I found out the gift of life, it coordinates the recovery of organs and the tissue.
Correct, we do tissue and organ recovery.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's and also there's so many websites I went through, but the one I found it, the Michigan Gov designation, WW. So this is, what is Gift of Life National Organ Transplant?
So our main website is actually golm.org. That's where
Yeah.
you can find out about what organs and tissues are transplantable, why someone would need a transplant, just to hear more stories, and also to join the Michigan Organ Donor Registry. You're able to do that. But we serve as a bridge between those who are waiting and those transplant hospitals with our recovery of organs and tissues.
Okay. So Michigan Hospital is this the number one these days for this here in Michigan, right?
So we're what's called an OPO, which stands for Organ Procurement Organization, and we
Okay.
are the OPO for the state of Michigan. But there are over 50 OPOs across the country. So generally,
okay.
each state has their own OPO.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you the question about, because there were so many all over, from Cleveland, from Boston.
Right. But
So
ours is for the state of
To
Michigan.
the state. So, Dr. Collier, what you have to say about the whole situation?
Well, I think it's just amazing that the gift of life exists. They've helped me to get a transplant. And they've done so much to others. My donor gave me a heart, joy, and everything I
Right,
do,
yeah.
I say I'm doing it with joy. But he also gave 2 kidneys, lung, liver, pancreas.
okay.
So it benefited many people besides
Many
just
people.
myself.
Right, yeah.
And I've been able to contact, the gift of life has allowed me to contact the donor and the donor to contact me. So we've become friends. We visit and talk
okay,
with
you
each other
become kind
and meet
of-
on a regular basis.
Yeah,
and that.
yeah.
So it's been just absolutely amazing. I wake up each morning and I thank God that, oh, here I am again today, and the gift of life, my doctors, nurses that have taken care of me, because it's just been an absolute wonderful experience.
Isn't it amazing, the whole field of medicine, how it has advanced? Many years ago, there was one physician, I don't even remember, who did the first heart transplant. I forgot his name. That
Bernard.
was several years
Christian
ago, the
Bernard or
first
something
one.
like
Yeah,
that.
do you remember, doctor? Yeah.
And just to kind of also to expound on what he said, a lot of times people aren't aware what organs can be transplanted.
Right,
You
yeah.
talked about a few of them, but there are 8 transplantable organs that could potentially save someone's life. So you have your heart, you have 2 kidneys. As you know, a person can live
Right,
with 1
yeah.
kidney, so those can go to 2
So
different people.
8 of them,
There's
okay,
8,
yeah.
right? And you have your 2 lungs. There's also the
Lungs.
pancreas, the liver, and the intestines. So one person can make a world of difference in the lives of so many people. And those are just organs. There's also tissue that can improve the lives of 75 people or more. So you have things like skin, you have bone, you have tendons, ligaments, all those sort of things. Heart valves, they can really help improve the lives of so many people.
Yeah, I went through my literatures and all that, all these organs you're talking about and the tissue. It is amazing. It's not just one major things, heart or kidney.
Right.
There are so many
Right.
that it improves the life of other, gift of life.
Yes.
Yes.
This is why it is called gift
Yes.
of life, right? Anything else you want to add up?
No, I just say that, I wouldn't be here without the gift of life that I've been given, and I'm just very, very thankful every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would encourage people to educate themselves about organ donation. There are a lot of misconceptions out there. A big chunk of my job involves going out to high schools to talk to students about donation.
okay.
And some of the things that they tell me that they've seen or heard on TV or in a movie, I'm like, where are you all getting this stuff from? But I would encourage people to check out our website, golm.org, do all the research that they feel they need to do so that they can feel empowered to make the decision that's best for themselves and for their families.
And also it is important to educate the young generations, right? Just like you have 23-year-old. The young generation, they are fresh, they are more energetic.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a good thing.
And young people, they think they're never going to die, nothing's going to happen to them,
I can see that, as the process of aging, as you get old, you lose your memory, you lose,
Another thing too, what you just said, with aging, sometimes your health can begin to fail.
Yeah.
But I want people to know that you don't have to be in 100% perfect health to register as an organ
Age is
donor.
not a very significant factor,
So
right?
maybe you have something like diabetes, for instance.
Right.
Maybe
yeah.
you're.
That was my next question.
Oh, okay. I'll let you go ahead and
Diabetes,
ask
high
it then.
blood pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
So with diabetes, for
How
instance,
do they do?
maybe your pancreas or your kidneys
Yeah,
might not
yeah.
be a good match for someone, but you could have really strong lungs. You could have a really strong heart.
Right.
Science and medicine is, I'm sure you both know, constantly evolving. So do not count yourself out. There used to be a time, for instance, if you were HIV positive, you would not be able to
Yeah,
donate,
yeah.
but that's not the case in 2023.
Oh, okay.
There are people who have had organs that were infected with HIV or hepatitis, and they're doing just fine because those
Okay.
things can be
They're
treated with
doing just fine,
medications.
yeah.
Right. So just don't count yourself out.
Yeah. So just because you have some other disease, don't think about it. You can still do it, help in some other way, right?
Correct,
If it is
yes.
people with the diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, they have their own issues, right? But they can always have some alternates, right? Like you said, lungs,
Right.
brain. So,
Not so much brain, but I mean, we have tissue. So your
Tissue.
skin, for instance, for people who have been burned, or maybe people who've had breast cancer and they need reconstructive surgery, things like
Yeah.
that. I know we've all heard of athletes who have had ACL tears. You
Yeah.
can have those repaired with
you
tendon
can
and ligament
donate your
replacements.
tissue, yeah.
Correct, yes. There's even cornea donation to help
Yeah,
provide sight
corneal,
for people.
that is a big thing nowadays too, corneal transplant.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving vision to somebody.
Right.
And I'm, a recipient, and I still am on the, a donor. I have my little red heart on my driver's
okay.
license. you know.
Yeah, okay. So what will be your last minute advice to our listeners today? Your last minute,
Well,
1 minute.
you only go through this world one time. And should circumstances happen that shorten your life for whatever reason, there is a gift that can be given to other individuals, okay? That's a gift of love, of donation, of body parts that,
Right,
that
okay.
you can't take with you.
Okay, how about your last minute
I would say
advice to the donors, to the viewers here?
your legacy can live on. It doesn't have to end on your death day. So please just educate yourself about
Educate.
donation. Have that conversation with your family. Make
Yeah.
sure they know what it is you want to do, and vice versa, because you really can be a literal lifesaver to someone by
Right.
joining the registry.
So that is good. I like to thank both of you for coming to my show today. The topic was Gift of Life by Dr. Michael Collier, the recipient of heart transplant, and Shalanda Griffin, Community Project Coordinator. And I'd like to thank our viewers for watching me on my show today, thanking our producer, our camera crews. And until I see you all again, have a very safe, wonderful spring and summer. Thank you again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.